Check 1, 2. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can't, speak up in chat. And if you're watching this in post, feel free to skip ahead. The timer on the screen lets us know when we're going to start. But for now, if you're here, settle in, grab a drink, maybe, I don't know, use the restroom or something. We'll pick up once everybody's ready to go. Actually, more importantly, when I'm ready to go. I'm just going to be organizing things behind the scenes. Don't mind me. Is everything smooth in the background? Time to find out. Looks it. Can I get copyrighted for humming a song? I don't think so. I don't think so. Alright, everything looks good to go. Is it wise to drink coffee before an hour-long stream? I don't know. I don't know. There's probably some sort of professional advice you could look up to see if coffee is a good... I know you could drink like tea, you could drink like, or take a lozenge, or even gum to clear the moisture from your voice, and this is probably less than stellar, but... Oh, that's unfortunate. I forgot to tape... Dang. I forgot to post that we're live. That's crazy. I thought I changed that already. Alright. Well, I guess I'll wait a little bit longer for people to come in. Just give me a second. That is unfortunate. Alright, friends. For people who are watching in post, I had accidentally set this stream to unlisted for the first 4.5 minutes of the primer, which is unlucky. But hopefully as people filter in, I'll be able to update people on the situation, which might mean that the intro might be a little longer than usual. Hey, what's up, Mango Cheesecake? Nice to see you. It's nice to have you back. Would you believe that I accidentally left this stream on unlisted until 3 minutes into the stream? Would you? Maybe. Who knows? But I'm going to get started in like a minute or two. Let me just wait this out just a little bit longer, see if people will come in, and then we'll go from there. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Hello, hello. How embarrassing. I'm leaving it on this screen because when this video goes up to VOD, then people will skip ahead until it is no longer this screen, and then we'll actually properly start the stream. So gonna wait for like a minute more and then we'll get started. What will be interesting is that in retrospect, if you tune into the first 5 minutes of the stream, it's just me talking to myself, which is not ideal, but so be it. Okay, let's get started. Let's do it. Is everything going to be all right? Let's find out. I think we're fine. Let's just do it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 99 more live stream where we cover 99 other tabletop RPGs all across the internet. We are up to game 68 of 99, which means that we're almost at the 70 game mark. This is the last game of February 2025, and we are so excited to introduce a game called Subway Runners. And I'm just going to throw up the cover because that's what the game is. This is a game I heard about through, I believe it was a Polygon article. I'm not entirely positive. It was Polygon or Dicebreaker. But the reason that this game called out to me over the rest of this author designer team's repertoire is because I am a huge fan of the subway system. As a native New Yorker who commutes for over 3 hours every single day, this resonates deep within my heart as something that I'm very, very familiar with, at least in concept. I don't really know what the game is about quite yet, but surely it is something that I can resonate with. This moving background of a cityscape behind a New York subway train is something I designed for a home campaign that we played online, where we existed in fantasy New York, and the subway system was a very important way to get around to the missions and destinations of the adventurers. So it's so good to bring this back, repurpose it for a new for one time only for this stream, but we're going to get into Subway Runners. I don't know too much about it. I only know that it was recommended to me, that is of a theme that I enjoy, and that it is a Forged in the Dark game, which is a game that draws from the base mechanics of Blades in the Dark, a game that we are familiar with, written by John Harper. Now, as we continue forward, we are going to be just covering where you can find this game, what this game's about, and what unique aspects you can pull from a game like this, should you choose to play it. Without further ado, let's jump into this. Let's see, 3, 2, 1. Yes, here we go. This is the game, but I don't want to go there yet. I want to go here. Okay, Subway Runners can be found on gemroomgames.itch.io. The availability link is in the description. This game can be found on itch, and it is also available on the Gemroom Games website. There you go. I got there. Gemroom Games website, which is the team that created this and a number of other games. This is not even their most recent creation. They have things like Duckborg, which I'm guessing is built off of Morkborg or Morkborg compatible. They have the game Letters to Sandra, 9 Lives to Valhalla, The Weaver's Observatory, High Magic Low Lives, Wreck of the Murderous, and then Subway Runners. So this isn't even their most recent game, it's just one that's celebrated. So I'm excited to get into this, mostly because I'm not yet familiar with this author or this team of authors. So, yeah, this is the fun part. Splotchy Inc., welcome to the stream. Nice to see you back. You read Part of the World's Better included a compilation of funny Family Guy clips playing off to the side. Gosh. Let's see. Okay, let's get into this. Subway Runners. This game is 32 pages long, so a relatively short read compared to things that we've covered recently. I'm going to try to get through the base rules, and then we'll see if we can play a little bit if we got the time for it. Subway runners, gig economy, metro workers cleaning a subway whose tunnels dig too deep. Designed, written, illustrated, and laid out by Dan Phipps. Programmed, written, photoshopped, and edited by Kali Laurie. And digital tools provided by perchance.org. And again, we mentioned Forged in the Dark, which is a system based on the game Blades in the Dark. The basics. Okay, so this is the pitch. Life is tough. For the cash-strapped... Do I have music going? Yes, I do. Life is tough. For the cash-strapped in Pociopolis. Pociopolis? I'm not sure. Ever since the secret to immortality was discovered, nobody retires anymore. With all the steady jobs taken and no sign of any new ones opening up, there's only one sure way to make some quick cash. Sign up as a subway runner and work for the Metro Authority to hunt monsters and repair subway lines below the city. Okay, that took like 5 turns I wasn't expecting. Let's start from the top. This is a gig economy game, as it stated. You are low on money. Ever since the secret to immortality was discovered, nobody retires anymore. I don't understand that sentence. It feels like I would retire eventually, even if I was immortal. But okay, with all the steady jobs taken and no sign of any new ones opening up, there's only one way to get some quick cash. Sign up as a subway runner and work for Metro Authority to hunt monsters. This was also a loop. I did not expect this to be a monster hunting game. I also did not expect this game to involve aspects of immortality. Is the lack of steady jobs due to overpopulation? Or is the secret to perfect health? I'm lacking some context here, and I'm very curious. This seems like this is a very strong conceit for a 3-sentence intro. Very cool. This game has two kinds of players, subway runners and a GM. While each of them have slightly different roles and responsibilities, both are here to have a good time, and everyone is responsible for their fellow players' enjoyment of the game. Each player creates a subway runner and works with the other players to create a crew to which their characters belong. Each player strives to bring to life an interesting, daring character who reaches boldly beyond their current safety and means. The players work together with the GM to establish the tone and style of the game by making judgment calls about the mechanics, dice, and consequences of actions. The players take responsibility as co-authors of the game with the GM. I'm still kind of hung up on the immortality thing. I know you guys are talking about it in chat too. That's a great point, Splotchy Inc. I like that. I imagine that is also because people have been in X job for 60 years and are basically perfect for the job. That makes a lot of sense, because if you live forever, then you become really, really good at your specific trade, and it becomes really, really hard to replace you because you're just so darn good at it, right? I guess that's the conceit, and that actually makes a lot of sense. But it's interesting that combined with immortality, and I don't know if we'll ever get to the root of this in this game, there are monsters in the subway that seem to be a perpetual opportunity for gig work, which is interesting, but I'm sure we'll get to it. Okay, a lot of these seem like pretty basic premises for role-playing games. The game master establishes the world, plays all the non-player characters, organizes the conversation of the game, and is pointed towards interesting elements of play. It says the GM isn't in charge of the story and doesn't have to plan events ahead of time. Interesting. I don't know what this means yet, but that sounds good. It sounds good. They present interesting opportunities to the players, then follow the chain of action and consequences wherever it leads. Key judgment calls. Everyone contributes. What actions are reasonable as a solution to the problem? Can this person be brainwashed? Must we get out the tools and tinker with this old rusty lock, or can it be quietly finessed? The players have the final say. So the solution to a problem is the responsibility of the players. How dangerous, effective, and risky is something? Can this person be brainwashed very little? A lot of focus on brainwashing. Can this person be brainwashed very little or a whole lot? The GM has the final say. That makes sense. So setting up the circumstances of the problem is the GM's call. And the risk level. Consequences are inflicted to manifest the dangers in a given circumstance. So the GM has the final say on consequences based on the result of what I'm assuming is a die roll, if this game is based on Blade in the Dark. Hello, Humble Gallipot. I feel like you've been here before. I think I recognize your name. You say, people aren't aging as they are working for eternity. The new people are born, but there are no jobs available for them. Okay, so I think everybody's on the same page now. That you're kind of born into a world where there's already people very good at the craft. Therefore, there's no such thing as replacing the aging workforce, right? Because the workforce doesn't age. It's a very interesting focal point when describing an immortal world, right? If you want, like on the podcast, Your Rivers Are Wrong, we'll set up hypothetical scenarios and play out the circumstances of that improvised setting, right? So if the premise was something along the lines of the world has discovered immortality, how does that change the world? I think the 9th or 10th discussion would probably be, does everyone have a job? I feel like there'd be so many other things to focus on in an immortal world that isn't that. Like, are there aspects of a divinity? Is this a sustainable, is there a sustainable supply of immortality, or is it severely limited? There's a lot of interesting world building details that feel like have to be hashed first before someone asks, but what about the gig economy? You know? but what about my tenured position? It's an interesting angle, so I'm invested already. So okay, well, to reiterate, players have the final say on solutions to problems. GM has the final say on risk level as well as consequences to roles or actions, and then which events in the story match the promotion activities for your subway runner. Do you express your runner's love language, goals, or vibe? You tell us. The players have the final say. So how you react to those consequences rests upon the players. This all makes sense. Thumper says, hi, I missed notifications. Was watching a stream on Zoroastrianism. That's an interesting topic to be watching a video about. Welcome, Thumper. Nice to see you back. You must have missed my notifications because I forgot to set the stream on public. I left this stream on unlisted until 8:34 EST. So it's not your fault that you're not here. That's a weird way to say it, but usually I make these streams live like 6 hours before. Anyway, let's talk about the dice system. Well, yeah, welcome back, Gallipot. Nice to see you. Is it Gallipot or Gallipo? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I don't want to mispronounce it. All right, rolling dice. I'm assuming this is very similar to Blades in the Dark. Their full success, partial success system. Subway Runners uses 6-sided dice. You roll several at once and read the simple single highest result. Oh, for people who are just joining. Oh my gosh, let me just show this for a second. Whoa, we're in a subway. This is a background I made for a campaign that was based around the New York subway. So I'm very excited to cover Subway Runners. So this is, I'm only going to get to use this moving background once in 99 more series, unless there's more subway related games. So I want to feature it. But anyway, let's keep going. This is the rolling system. If you roll several dice at once and read the single highest result. If the highest die is a 6, it's a full success. Things go well. If you roll more than 1 6, it's a critical success. You gain an additional advantage. Great. If the highest die is a 4 or a 5, that's a partial success. You do what you were trying to do, but there are consequences. Yes, of course. And then if the highest die is 1 to 3, it's a bad outcome. Things go poorly. You probably won't achieve your goal, and you suffer complications too. So the failure, partial success, and full success is something that you're familiar with if you've played Blades in the Dark or you've played any game powered by the Apocalypse. This is basically a very simplified system that anyone can really pick up on, and it only uses 6-sided dice, so it's very accessible to new players. There's a reason that Forged in the Dark is a very popular system, because it allows the facilitation of randomness into storytelling and improvised stories and things like that, with a very, very straightforward result system, which is fun. Yeah. Splotchy Inc. Subway or modern day urban. Yeah, it's what do you call it? The setting was not my invention. It was for West Marches run by my friends. But basically, New York, specifically the state of New York, was jettisoned into outer space, and somehow was able to persist. And everyone had to become adventurers to fight off space creatures and things like that. A very silly premise, but a whole lot of fun. Urban fantasy is one of my favorite things ever. So this says, if you ever need to roll 0 or negative dice, I'm assuming because of the merits to your roll 2 dice and take the single lowest result. So it'd basically be rolling at disadvantage for people familiar with the term. And that's it. That's the whole rolling system. Fantastic. Super simple. Can be literally screenshotted right here, and you know how to roll for the whole game, as I understand it. Setting up the play. Okay. Subway Runners is designed to be Why do I have a stuffy nose? Deep breath. Subway Runners is designed to be played online, and each player will need a computer, tablet, or phone to access their needed resources. Interesting. What? Subway Runners is designed to be played online, and each player will need a computer, tablet, or phone to access their needed resources, not paper and pen. Players can play in the same physical space so long as they maintain a healthy social distance. Okay, so this was probably made during COVID, accommodating the online setting. I find it interesting that they say straight up, don't use paper and pen. How neat. Splotchy Inc. You should write that as like a zine setting for a zine RPG. I think it was very funny. I think it's cool. The concept was basically like half of the... And this was not my, for the record, this was not my setting. It's just one I GM'd on because this was a West Marches with like 5 GMs, 5 game masters. But basically half of the deitic the godly pantheon was also jettisoned into space with New York, and they combined their powers to make sure that the ecosystem was left intact, and there was still a sun and moon cycle, and it was basically a small microcosm of a world traveling on its own. And the conceit was that nobody had any idea how to return back to Earth, so life in space became the new reality, which was very, very fun and made for a lot of really fun things because it makes you immediately in the presence of aberrant creatures, of course, and other weird space things. Like totally normalizing field trips to the space station was very cool. Anyways, let's talk about this strange non-paper and pen game requirement. Subway Runners use randomizers generated through perchance.org. We'll remember this to generate characters and adventures. Everything will be lost as soon as the page is closed or reloaded. If you or any other player would like to save any materials for reuse, be sure to take a screenshot or use the print file button at the bottom of the page. If you use the print file button, we recommend printing the PDF. Interesting. So they encourage character generator randomizers. How neat. How neat. We're absolutely going to generate a character through this. So, very cool. It's a game designed to be played by working together to interpret dice rolls and randomly generated story elements without much preparation, whether in the same room or miles apart. It can be difficult to take the temperature of the room when all your fellow players are all in different ones. All of this can potentially create an uncomfortable, distressing environment when characters are imperiled or the subject matter gets too real. Yes, this is a vouching for the safety tools that would encourage players to engage in a safe and comfortable play environment rather than one that antagonizes their specific concerns. So there's plenty of good safety tools. The X card and lines and veils are the ones we usually talk about on these streams. All right, the runner's file is the first big section. Everything you need to know about a subway runner can be found in their file. Before taking on a gig, you should review your file at www.perchance.org/subway. Oh, you could click it. I just clicked it. I just clicked off the PDF. I was bounced here. Perchance.org/subwayrunners. What is this? Oh, wait a second. Is this just a straight up randomly generated character? Oh, cool. Casey Tweedsmear. Regular size, plump build, white hair, violet eyes, vibe soft. Reputation: a surprising number of priests are aware of their destiny to bring the world to ruin. Side hustle, editing / fic. Very interesting choice. The goal is to make the world's biggest rubber band ball. And there's a bunch of things here that I don't understand yet. Special ability, Nard's Punch. Stress, trauma, wounds. I'm assuming those are stats that change over time. Can I like click these? I can click these. How cool. What is this? Magic domain, party magic. Weapon, sledgehammer. Armor, full suit armor. Accessory, vial of poison. Okay, so where's the randomize button? Love language, nosebleeds. Funny. Wait, this isn't my file? What happens if I click this? New character! How cool! So wait, can I just keep clicking this? I can! And it changes every time I click it? It sure does. Florian Alvarado. Height, travel sized. Alright, this is sick. Did it change my equipment too? It did! Weapon, a bat with a nail through it. Armor, the love of a pixie. Soul in the jar. How fun. This is a fun character generator even if you're not playing the game. How fun is this? Cool. Well, this makes character creation super easy. Oh, I kind of like the other guy. Can I go back? I can't go back. It's lost forever. Florian Alvarado is gone forever. Delta Xerxes. Build apple bottomed. How cool. Alright, let's bounce back to the game. But clearly this is a very straightforward character creator. Again, perchance.org/subwayrunners for those curious. This is a clickable link in the PDF, which is awesome. Review the file and consider how it makes you feel. If the file doesn't spark joy, hello Marie Kondo, press the button at the bottom of the page to automatically bring up a more accurate file. Repeat until content. That's exactly what I did, by the way. I just spammed it. Repeat until content, and be sure to screenshot or print to PDF the file that feels right, in case the tab is closed or refreshed. Cool. Bio section contains a brief description. Can you use the file number? I don't think you can save the file number. It seems randomized. I doubt they would. Honestly, for a game like this, I doubt they would save seeds of characters. That seems kind of silly. These 6 numbers are probably randomized as well and can't be called on. But you can print file. There's a print file button here, so if you want to save a file, you could do that. No, these are all random. There's no shot. I don't think there's any coding here. Yeah, I would not ask them to save like a seed of my contractor file. That seems above what a website can be asked for. That's nice though. I like that. Proficiencies describes your aptitudes and abilities. Actions. Your file has 9 actions, which are primary ways your subway runner interacts with the world. Especially when they do something where the outcome is uncertain. Each action has a rating of 0 to 4 and tells you how many dice to roll when you perform that action. Your action ratings may improve if you receive a promotion. Do they already have those stats chosen for you? Let me double check. They do. They do. They have it here. Cool. So your stats are also randomly generated. What if I re-roll this? So I have 2, 3, 1, 1. Let's try re-rolling. Great. So even these are randomly generated. How neat. Hello, triple person. Nice to see ya. Welcome back. You choose which action to perform to overcome an obstacle and describe what your character does. Got it. So you have 9 actions, and these are the actions: investigate, scan, engineer, operate, sprint, sabotage, brainwash, carouse, deceive. Do those stay the same? Wait a second. Hold on. Investigate, scan, engineer, operate, sprint. These changed too. I don't think I had dissect before. All right, we're going to watch a couple of these. Dissect, brainwash, perform, inspire. It changes. There's more than 9 actions. There's more than 9 actions. And these are like only some of the available choices. I don't know if I can figure out all the choices. Yeah, again, I lost dissect. I kept brainwash, which was nice. Oh, cool. Triple Person says, have we not seen this game before? We haven't. I haven't seen this game before. This is a new experience for me. To get you up to speed, we're talking about a character generator for the game Subway Runners. It's on perchance.org/Subway Runners. And every time you click this button, you get a new character. So character creation is as easy as a 1 click. And you get these cool actions that you're strong at or bad at. And you get all these traits that you can, write down if you want to. And every time you click, wait, this isn't my file, you get a new character. That's Dale. That's Tobin. And that's Aspen O'Keefe. So that's where we're at right now. Okay, the actions change. How cool. Okay, so this is the general workflow of Blades in the Dark. Player states the goal and what action they're taking to do it with. GM describes the difficulty level. Riskier approaches incur worse consequences, and then the player rolls the dice, and the group judges the result. Okay, so here are all the ability types. Oh, there's so many. Oh, there's way more than 9. So you're gonna get 9 of these randomly, and these are the actions. Analyze, consider, investigate, spy, observe. Scan, engineer, experiment, rig, pilot. Finesse, operate, disguise, skulk, sprint. Dissect, annihilate, sabotage, brainwash, threaten. Challenge, carouse, befriend, perform, inspire, negotiate, deceive. That was, if I'm not mistaken, 27 different possible abilities. So 9 times 3. 9 times 3 actions, 27. Your unique talents or upbringing grant you a special ability. You may receive additional special abilities if you receive a promotion. They have no assigned dice rating. Okay, so these are just kind of things you can do because you're great. As an example, this character... How funny would it be if I made a create a character guide to this game? It's pretty funny. Special ability, at least a little immune to radiation. Incredible. That is an ability. That counts. Contractor health. Right. So these are the numbers to track. For each point of stress you take on, mark a stress box so your stress slowly rises. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure that has penalties along the way. Oh, wait, let me see. Roll your resistance die and suffer 6 stress minus the higher result of the resistance roll. Okay, so it seems like stress is your ability to mitigate or remove consequences. So you can spend stress to reduce the consequence. And obviously stress is a finite resource because it slowly climbs up. Like if we look at the character sheet, stress are these little boxes and you can slowly check them off to raise them. It looks like you have 8 maximum stress. You can also add 1 die to your roll by taking on 2 stress. And you can take on 1 stress to help your ally and give them 1 additional die. Interesting little game design thing here. It costs 2 dice to improve one of your own rolls, but one die to improve an ally's roll. Which basically says if you want to be quote unquote optimal, it's better to help an ally than to help yourself, which is a nice little game design thing. Trauma. When you mark your last stress box, your personality is permanently affected. Inform the GM and they will tell you a trauma to add to your runner's file. Oh, interesting. Condition is permanent. When you suffer trauma, you are taken out of the action until you can get some fresh air. Okay, so that's what it is. So, if you check all 8 of your stress boxes, then you receive trauma and are forced out of the battle. So it's in the same way that, I don't know if you guys have played Masks, but basically if you have a bunch of conditions like scared, frustrated, saddened, things like that. And if all 5 of those conditions are checked, you are no longer fit for combat and you are forced out of the scene. This is in the same way. If your stress builds up to 8, then you can no longer participate in the scene and you have to, rest to recover. When you've suffered 4 traumas, you must retire as a subway runner. Very straightforward. Mild resistance to radiation sounds like the ability no player would take for the character. Yeah, it's kind of a meme. But the second it works, right? The second it's useful, that's a very fun moment. Wounds. Subway running is dangerous work, and in the consequence of getting dangerous work is taking the occasional wound. Minor, moderate, and severe. You can suffer 2 minor wounds, but the 3rd minor wound is elevated to a moderate wound. You can suffer 2 moderate wounds, but your 3rd moderate wound is instantly elevated to a severe. So you can take 2 minors, 2 moderates, and then what about severes? If you suffer a 2nd severe wound, the result is catastrophic, permanent, and usually fatal. Okay, so it looks like at maximum you can take 2 minor wounds, 2 moderate wounds, and 1 severe wound. If you take a 2nd one, you suffer permanent, catastrophic consequences, which may be fatal. And then healing wounds downgrade all of these wounds. Oh, nice. Contractor personal effects are personal magic domains. Let's check what our character is. I just realized now they're introducing magic. Let's see. Turnip magic. I see. Of course, turnip magic. Understandable. So I have turnip magic and my power is a mild resistance to radiation. Now I'm curious. What kind of character am I? Let's paint the vision, right? Turnip magic. I've got a sword of dreams and a lucky ring. My pack inventory is painkillers and thundering crystals and a sack of potatoes. I'm a farmer, right? This is all farmer stuff. Well, not this, but I am a farmer turned dream warrior. I have turnip magic and a sack of potatoes. A surgeon in a past life, for sure. Until I retired because I yearned for the fields. This sort of dreams came to me after a nightmare, in convincing me to pursue a greater path. One that requires me, and a special ability that was revealed to me along the way is that I'm immune to radiation just a little bit. I imagine I discovered it when there would be animals that suffered around me in this specific traveling zone and I was unaffected. Only later did I realize the proximity to a nuclear waste mine, something like that. And things that I'm decent at: sabotage. I'm not a kind farmer. I see. I'm a mean, terrible blight of a farmer that sabotages the competition. But I'm good at both threatening and befriending. My lying skills are not that great. So and no matter what, I'm very straightforward. I'll either befriend you or threaten you and I'll be good at it. Pretty good runner. operate, operate. I don't know the meaning of, but here I'm going to interpret it as operating on patients due to these surgeon tools. I'm sure it has another meaning, but I'm choosing to ignore it. And my name is Aspen O'Keefe, as tall as a grasshopper, knee-high to a grasshopper. I'm not even as tall as the grasshopper. I'm the knee of the grasshopper. What kind of farm can I run as this someone knee-high to a grasshopper? My side gig is renovating furniture. And my goal is to write the quintessential catalog of the breeding habits of the monster species living under the city. I'm a degenerate. Crazy, crazy stuff. Alright, now I know who I am. That's my character. That's who I'm gonna be or play as if I need to play this game. Alright. Oh, casting spells. You can cast a magic spell in the same manner as any other action. When did this become a fantasy game? It's so funny because I've read 17 pages of this game and I've yet to hear about the subway. Right? I've heard about monsters. I've heard about immortality. I've heard about the terrible gig economy. I've heard about magic domains and magic spells and special abilities and actions and talents, but I haven't heard about the subways yet. Oh, here. The subway, it says right here, the subways under the city follow the magical ley lines through which all arcane power flows. Your subway runner has the ability to tap into their personal magical domain to cast spells. How funny. So I pull power from the ley lines upon which the subways are built. You can cast a magic spell in the same manner as any other action, but instead of rolling based on an action rating, you roll your magic dice. The spell you cast must be tied to your magic domain. What is my magic domain again? Turnip magic, right? It's got to be related to turnip magic. By nature, magic tears at the fabric of reality. This is such a wild thing to say off the cuff. Magic tears at the fabric of reality, and as such, the consequences of magic spells gone wrong tend to be much, much more exciting. And those are the mundane actions. I was going to say much, much more dangerous, but exciting is a choice. That's very fun. Fighting dice. You can use your weapon to fight in the same manner. Again, my weapon is the Sword of Dreams. But instead of rolling based on an action rating, you roll your fighting dice. With the strong apostrophe, the hard apostrophe. Your weapon is typically the instrument of your combat, but you can use anything your subway runner has on hand. Your choice of weapon determines a great deal of how risky the fight will be for you and how effective you are as a warrior. Then there's resistance dice that come from my armor, which I believe is sourced from a gladiator. Okay, and this is a wound stuff. Cool, 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 cool. This is a magical accessory. You can only gain the benefits of one accessory at a time because magic items get jealous. There's such a rhythm to how this game reads. That's like, by the way, here's some lore. Anyway, let's keep going. It's like a lore drop in one sentence before they continue on to something else. Pack, inventory, and coin. I'm not too interested in all this. This is money talk. But okay, we could do this. A coin is worth about $5 or euro, 20 Malaysian ringgit, 25 Brazilian real, 30 Turkish lira, 500 yen, or 6,000 won. Price the goods and services one can acquire in a subway station accordingly. At $5. The coin is $5. Cool. The contractor profile is the result of an exhaustive battery of personality tests conducted as part of a subway runner selection process. Now I'm curious. Contractor. Personality type canine. Clearance level basic. Love language head pet. I'm a dog. I'm a tiny, tiny, smaller than a grasshopper dog. It's also a farmer. I was previously a surgeon that uses turnip magic. Lunch order, brown bag, peanut butter sandwich. That's a good lunch. That's a good breakfast too. Demerits, took much sick time after turned into a frog. I'm a frog. I'm a former dog turned frog. Farmer, surgeon. Promotions. I don't know what promotions mean, but I'm assuming it's akin to level progression after a successful mission or gig. The gig, I'm turning my head sideways, and the Metro Information Kiosk. Subway Runners does not require the GM to prepare before sitting down to play. This is such a funny little thing. I've never ever been told by a book I've never been told by a book that I don't need to prep. Right? Isn't that a little bit counterintuitive if you are chosen as the game master but have no prep to do? It's an interesting little situation. And we read this. This is the pitch for the setting. You send each player the link to make their characters, and then the gigs. Oh, there's another one. perchance.org/Subway Runners gig. Okay, what is this? Yeah, I don't know if I was showing you on stream. I probably wasn't for a while. Was I just reading nothing? I probably was tabbed off. If you missed it. Let me just scroll up a little bit. Yeah, promotion activities, the gig, and the Metro Information Kiosk. And it says right here, Subway Runners does not require the GM to prepare before sitting down to play. And now we're looking at the gig. The gig. This really is a technology-centric game. How interesting. The following job is available near you. The A line is out between the Garment District and the Haunted House Lane. All we know... oh, hello, what's up? Luke24, welcome to the stream. We are talking about the game Subway Runners. Subway Runners is a tabletop RPG based on the Blades in the Dark, Forged in the Dark system. You are playing as I understand it, if I can explain this from off the cuff, you are playing as gig workers looking for work in a world where everybody is immortal and there are no normal jobs to be had. You hunt monsters in a magical subway using special magical talents akin to your specific magical domain, as well as weaponry. Does that summarize the game in general? I think it's pretty close. Again, if you're tuning in just now, perchance.org/Subway Runners is your character generator, which you can repeat over and over again by doing this, and it randomly generates an entirely new sheet. And we're now looking at Subway Runners available gig. So this is our job. This is what we've been called to do. And again, this is randomly generated, so I could click next gig and get a new one. But the A line is out between the Garment District and the Haunted House Lane. All we know is last time it was a lost ogre. If service is not restored, adventurers won't be able to get to the Necromancer Quarter. The crew that restores services will receive a cricket in a cage who knows how to play Elvis's greatest hits. What Subway Runners don't know is 10 terrible turtles have taken to terrorizing that tunnel. Wasn't ready for the tongue twister, but there it is. Please confirm by repeating the following confirmation code 947A. What is this? For further details on this gig, visit Metro Information Kiosk. There's more information. What the heck? All of this is randomly generated? That's insanity. No information. It is. I'm having trouble wrapping my head around it. There is a character generator, a mission generator, and a mission details generator. That's an insane amount of work. Yeah, if you truly are walking in on a Saturday night with your buds and you got nothing to do and no games planned, and the GM's like, hey, I want to run something, but I have absolutely nothing prepared. Looks like you can pull up a game of Subway Runners and just be ready. Because you can just generate four or five characters with this, right? Then figure out the mission you're going to be putting people on. So if we don't like this whole haunted house lane thing with the ogre, let's try... this is the same mission. Lost Ogre. Try again. Yeah. This one is the rogue intelligence in a stolen body escaped nearby. Crazy stuff. Service is not restored. It will get a lot of complaints from the awakened ravens. The crew that restores services will receive a chunk of crystallized griffin's blood. So if you're cool with just a hardcore RNG game where you are given the details of your character and the scenario and you just kind of riff with it, Subway Runner seems exactly right for that. Great. Once they give the confirmation code, proceed to perchance.org/run Subway Runners. Is that like another different website? Let's find out. Yeah. That would lead you to the Metro Information Kiosk, which provides you all of this random information. Look. Magical mishaps. Monster. Critters. Tunnels, rumors, folks, station. All of this randomly generated, already pre-written. Okay, I don't know if I will continue reading this. I think the rest are like details on NPCs, and I'm looking at the side. NPCs, critters, monsters, consequences, magical mishaps. Those are all things that you will be encountering throughout the game that are 1, randomly generated, and 2, have these specific rules to interacting and interfacing with them. I'm not going to get into the weeds about what this game is about in that regard. And then ending the game, I'm assuming is... am I allowed to look at this? Yes. Ending the game requires fixing the line. Yeah. So the premise of this game is... oh, look. Whoops, I'm not even reading it. There. It says, after the line is fixed, which is the end of the session, right? The conclusion or goal of every session is to fix the subway line. Ask if the players are up for another gig. If they're not, how does your subway runner celebrate? And that's the end of a session. And once you're done running gigs, just narrate your character celebrating and epilogue everything that you encountered. Yeah. It looks like this. I feel like for obvious reasons, because of the random nature of this game, there's not really a cohesive storyline moving forward. Every gig is just a hodgepodge of details that you guys all stitch together to create some sort of sensical storyline. But in terms of like a long form play with repeating setting and story, that's a little harder because you're just being tossed random details the whole time. But these characters, once you make them, can be constants if you want to play these gigs over and over again. Randomly generated gigs and things like that. Winning the game. Every player that goes to gemroomgames.itch.io and rates Subway Runners 5 stars is a winner. Thank you for playing. Alright. I feel like we got the general premise of this game. This is not a long read. Thumper says, I might be able to run this. My friend, there's no prep required. 0 prep required. You got... I might be able to run this. You can run this. You could run this right now. This second. You could turn off the stream. Go to your dining table, grab 3 people and run this game. It's easier than anything I ever expected to read. Look. Every time I click this button, I generate a new character. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've generated 10 new characters. Do I need a job? Do I need a premise for the session? I just click this. I don't like it. I click it again. I don't like it. I click it again, right? And I want details. I want locations. I want NPCs. I want rumors. I want pathways, little critters, big monsters, consequences, magical mishaps. It's all generated. It's all here. You don't got to think of a thing. The only thing you got to think of is how to make the story interesting, not necessarily what it's been a long time since I run into a game so easy to run, effortless. As long as you got the vibe of the game right, as long as everybody on the same page about the tone of the story and how wacky you want things to be or not, like the conceits of the setting, as long as you guys settle that and then settle your safety tools, you could just go. I could get a game running of this in 5 minutes. Just to explain the premise of the game is 4 minutes, 1 minute to generate characters, and 10 seconds to come up with the mission. Cool game. I think that's where I'm going to call it. I don't really feel the need to continue. The mechanics are very simple. The character generator is effortless, and the premise is pretty cool. I really like it. Let's summarize. I was tabbing through the PDF and I realized none of you guys could see it. But Subway Runners. What the heck is this game? Let's summarize it in a minute. Again, you are a I don't want to say roaming. You are a traveling gig worker in a society that only has immortal beings. Therefore, you are excluded from any job opportunities. Your only option to live in this world and actually earn some money is to hunt some monsters in the magical subways. This game is based on the Forged in the Dark, Blades in the Dark system, which only uses collections of 6-sided dice to determine success, partial success, and failures based on the actions that you want to do, of which there are 9 randomly assigned to you from a list of 27 different random skills. Your magic weapon, your magic domain, your armor, and many quirks about you are randomly generated through online resources, and this game is incredibly quick to run as long as all of your players are on board for a wacky, unpredictable session. That's the whole thing. That's not what I expected this game to be, but it's cooler than I could have predicted. Subway Runners, again, if you want to find this game, you can go to gemroomgames.itch.io/subwayrunners. The link is in the description below. It's $3, man. The character generators are free. If this game is an easy recommend. Easy recommend. As if I'm just looking for character ideas or plot ideas, this is so easy to recommend. This is created by Gemroom Games. They've made a lot of games. You can find all their stuff at gemroomgames.com over here. And that's all I got for you. It's a quick stream. That's really nice. Thank you guys all for tuning in. One more glimpse at the really cool subway I made or put together for this stream that I pulled from an old campaign. Oh, that's not it. That's the fireplace. That I pulled from an old campaign. And I hope that you guys all have a wonderful night. I am disappearing for 2 weeks because I am going to Japan. I'm going to be out of the country for a bit. I'm going to return on March 18th, I believe, and we'll be covering the Break Tabletop RPG. So look forward to that. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful next 2 to 3 weeks until we see each other again with game number 69, the Break Tabletop RPG. And this has been Subway Runners on the 99 More live stream. Have a good one.